Welcome back, guys, to a brand new video. And today I wanted to give my review on the Pokemon trading card game Live. Of course, the beta is out and available, and I have played it quite a bit. And I am here to give my thoughts on the beta, what I like about Pokemon TCG Live, and what I do not like about the game. I thought, as a content creator and having a platform, I think it's very important to kind of speak on the issues that the beta has. In my opinion, I don't think the Pokemon trading card game Live is honestly better than PTCGO. I think that it has the potential to be, and it's definitely there. The game can be better than PTCGO, but I think there are a lot of things that do hold the game back at the moment. Obviously, since it is in beta, obviously it's not going to be the final product. Plus, the whole point of doing a beta is so that people can actually play the game, test it, and give honest feedback about the game. And as a content creator, I think it's important to give my opinion on what I personally think about the Pokemon trading card game Live beta, because there's a lot of things to like about it. There's good and bad within the beta. I think that the bad does kind of outweigh the positives, but there are positives there. And I think that over time, if Pokemon can take the feedback that the community gives, because from what I've seen, the game has gotten some pretty negative feedback. I think if they take that negative feedback and actually apply it to the game and improve upon it, then I actually think they could have something special here with Pokemon trading card game Live. So this is my honest opinion and my honest review on the game. Let's start off with some things that I do like about the beta. The first thing, and the probably the best thing about the beta right now, is how easy it is to get any cards you want. Obviously, one of the main issues with PTCGO that people had is the trading system and how hard and expensive it is to afford a lot of the cards on the game. And that is one of the big issues that PTCGO has, is that it's super expensive to build cards, especially when the new sets release. And even right now, with Brilliant Stars being out on PTCGO, the new cards are expensive. It will literally cost you over 100 packs to build yourself an Arceus V-Star deck right now with PTCGO, which is pretty absurd. When you play Pokemon TCG Live, you can easily obtain an Arceus V-Star super easily, and that's why I like getting any cards you want super easily on Pokemon TCG Live is fantastic. That is one of the best things, one of the things that a lot of people have been wanting for a very long time. I've been vocal about the trading system. Personally, I like trading in Pokemon TCGO. It's one of my favorite things about the Pokemon TCGO Online, but I know that there are people that don't like the trading system, and I think that removing it and kind of making it super easy to get any cards you want, well, yes, it kills the value of most cards. Like Gold Ultra Ball is worthless on PTCG Live, as on PTCGO it's expensive. But at the same time, it's better for players to be able to get any card they want. And when a new set releases, anybody can build a new deck and not have to worry about spending hundreds of packs on a new card. So that is one of the best parts about Pokemon TCG Live. And it's probably the best thing about the beta right now, is how easy it is to get any card you want. Another positive I do like is the Battle Pass system, and I guess the new ladder on PTCG Live. Personally, I'm not a huge, competitive-ish player. I'm not super concerned about a ranked ladder being there or not. I know a lot of people in the community really want one to be, and I know that it's in the game. I'm glad to see that there's a ranked ladder. Apparently, the ranked ladder is not as good as people wanted it to be, but again, people can improve on it. The other thing is the Battle Pass. I don't hate the Battle Pass. I think the Battle Pass is pretty fine in my opinion. It's pretty similar to the PTCGO ladder. There are some differences. Obviously, you have to use your in-game currency to get the Battle Pass at a full tier, as opposed to PTCGO where the ladder is free. But the ladder and the Battle Pass, they're quite literally the same thing in my opinion. You can't tell me they're not basically the same thing, bro. So the Battle Pass is nice to have in the game. Of course, you do get free stuff from it, including some pretty good cards and the new set, which is great. The Battle Pass is another great feature, and of course, as time goes on, they'll probably end up making the Battle Pass a lot better, and they'll improve upon it and make it even better than what it already is, and actually make it more rewarding to rank up on the Battle Pass. That is another positive thing. Another positive takeaway I have is the in-game shop on Pokemon TCG Live. I think the in-game shop is actually awesome. I love it. It's very similar to what PTCGO used to do way back in the day. PTCGO used to have weekly shop bundles, which was an awesome feature that they took away for some reason, and it stripped the game down and just made it more bare bones. This game, there is more meat to it because the in-game shop is really cool. And again, as time goes on, they're probably going to add really cool bundles like custom sleeves, maybe even custom playmats, which I would love to see, and even other really cool shop bundles. And you can get a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm looking at the shop right now. You can get you can get the Evolution VMAX alternate art sets. You can get Hoopa V, you can get Pichu V Union, you can get the Leafeon Glaceon V-Star. It's awesome. I love that, and I think that's a great feature and something that definitely is a humongous positive. It kind of goes back to the idea of getting any card you want super easily. That's another positive I like. I like the in-game shop, and I think there's a lot of potential to be had there, and that's kind of where my positives end with the beta. Those two positives, they're good. They're great. The problem is, there are a lot of things that I do not like about the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live beta. And I am here to explain what I do not like about it, because there is a lot that I'm not a personal fan of and stuff that I want to see changed. And I know a lot of the community also wants to see changed. I think the first thing, and my biggest issue with the game, I don't like the game board, the in-game battles. I think it is very, very flawed and a lot worse than how PTCGO's battles go. Pokemon Trading Card Game Live is kind of obviously meant for the phone and not for the desktop. Like, it was an afterthought to put it on desktop. Clearly, the game was designed to be on your phone. And that means the desktop version of Pokemon Trading Card Game Live kind of gets shafted a little bit, and I'm not a fan of that. I mean, I'm not saying that there's people that don't play on their phone. There's a ton of people that do play on their phone. My issue is there's also, the desktop players. And yes, it is great to have the game on the phone, and being able to play a Pokemon game on your phone anytime you want is great. That's actually going to make the player base even larger, and actually that's a good thing, right? That's a really good thing. The problem is they specifically intended for it to be for the phone. Like, the desktop version got shafted pretty hard, and I'm not a personal fan of how the desktop version looks. The game board is way too big. There is way too much empty space, and it looks really ugly. On top of that, the cards themselves are very tiny. PTCGO, in my opinion, yes, it is outdated technically, but I think PTCGO's game board is really solid. There's a lot of like things to like about what Pokemon TCGO's game board looks like. For starters, the cards are a lot bigger, and that's one of the best things about it. The cards are bigger, and it's very easy to navigate the game board. All you gotta do is just like right-click on a card and it zooms in, or you click on the card and then it shows the card to let you attack with it. It's a very straightforward game board, and even the hand itself is pretty solid. Also, obviously, there are issues with PTCGO's game board overall. It does look a little stale, but at the same time, it's functional, it looks good, and it's appealing. I think there's a reason why people like PTCGO's gameplay so much and why it's so easy to watch is because the game board itself, which is the main juice of the content when making a Pokemon Trading Card Game Online video, the game board looks really good, and it's really smooth. PTCG Live's game board is just kind of all over the place. There's a lot of empty space. The cards are way too tiny. I don't really like how the cards look on the bench either. When you bench a Pokemon on Pokemon Trading Card Game Live, it only shows like the artwork of the card. It doesn't show the full card like on Pokemon TCGO. In my opinion, that just looks ridiculous. It doesn't look good at all, and that's just my personal opinion. I don't like how the game board looks, and I don't like how small the cards are, and I do not like what it looks like when you bench a Pokemon. Another issue I do have with it is the cards are all facing one way. On PTCGO, the game looks realistic to what it looks like when you're playing in real life, right? The cards are all facing towards the correct direction. On PTCG Live, the cards are just facing one way, which looks ridiculous. Like, it looks ridiculous. I don't like how that looks. It just looks really silly. In fact, it looks like Pokemon are confused. Like, when you confuse a Pokemon PTCGO, the card does face the opposite direction. And that's what it looks like on Pokemon Trading Card Game Live, yet there's no confusion. And that's my main concern. That's the biggest issue, and obviously that is one of the biggest parts about the game itself, is actually battling people. And when the actual game board itself does not look very good, that is the big issue. And that's one of my biggest worries with Pokemon Trading Card Game Live is PTCGO is fine to watch. It's pleasant to look at. It's easy to follow along. On Pokemon Trading Card Game Live, there's just so many things going on at once. On top of the fact that the game board just doesn't look very good, that just makes it not very interesting to watch. And as a content creator, I'm worried that people are not going to want to watch a Pokemon Trading Card Game Live video because they just don't, they can't watch it. It doesn't look good to watch. That is one of my main concerns with the game. And I think a lot of the reason why the game board does look the way it does is because they did make the game for mobile and then they made it for PC afterwards. And that's probably why the game board looks like that. And in my opinion, I think they should make the game board look more like what PTCGO looks like. Obviously, I'm not saying they should copy PTCGO, but I'm just saying there's a reason why PTCG works is because the game board is just very easy to follow along. You don't have to click and drag everything, which is another concern I do have with the game board. And the cards are all pretty big. You can actually see the card itself as opposed to it being super tiny. The cards on the bench look realistic because it's the full card on the bench and not half of the card on the bench, which just looks ridiculous. And the cards are all facing the correct direction as when you're playing IRL. I don't mind the new hand system on PTCG Live. Because one, you get to see how many cards you actually have in your hand. It tells you how many cards you have, which is pretty good. Knowing how many cards are in a hand is actually a pretty underrated feature, in my opinion. And also, the hand itself does look realistic. Like, I don't mind how the hand looks at all on Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. In fact, I would argue the hand looks better on Pokemon Trading Card Game Live than your hands look on PTCGO. But that's the only positive I can take out of the game board itself. There's just, it doesn't look good. There's too much empty space. And I think that's one of the things they should definitely try to improve upon is the actual gameplay itself, because that is kind of the core of Pokemon Trading Card Game Live, right? So that is my main criticism I have with the game, is I just do not like how it looks, and I think that they should definitely improve upon that itself. And again, I know that it was intended to be a mobile game and not as much a desktop game, or I could be wrong, but I'm just saying, they need to just make the game look more appealing. They need to make it less kind of chaotic. And I also don't like the clicking and dragging everywhere, by the way. That's another thing I don't like about it. Like PTCGO, you just click on a card. Pokemon Trading Card Game Live, there is a lot of clicking and dragging, and it gets very daunting. I will say, though, a lot of that does come from being so used to PTCGO. I mean, we've been playing PTCGO for just so long. We are kind of just used to, the Pokemon Trading Card Game Online. So when you gotta make the transition over to Pokemon Trading Card Game Live and everything's all different with the clicking and dragging, it does get a little confusing and daunting. But at the same time, it's also just something I don't like. I don't want to be clicking and dragging everywhere. Like, when we're trying to do, like, quick shooting, a little 20 damage marker pops at the bottom of the screen. You have to drag that 20 damage to the Pokemon you want to quick shooting, as opposed to just clicking on the card that you want to do quick shooting to. Same thing with, like, Gmax Rapid Flow. If you want to Gmax Rapid Flow your opponent, you have to take 220 damage counters and just move them to the Pokemon. It's very similar to, like, Desktop Simulator, which is not a bad thing or anything. I'm not saying Desktop Simulator is the worst thing ever made, but it's not as good as PTCGO. I think that they should take away the clicking and dragging, and they should improve upon how the game board and gameplay looks itself. That is the main criticism I have with the game. Another issue I have with the game, this is kind of more of a nitpick, but it's still an issue. I don't like how the pack opening is on Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. PTCGO's pack opening is really nice. It's pretty simple. It just, you flip over all the cards, and then if you get double rare, you get 2 rares flipped over, and then you flip them over. Pokemon Trading Card Game Live, for some reason, there's only 5 card packs, and I'm pretty sure they'll fix that and change that when the game actually fully releases. But if that's the case, I mean, why not add 10 card packs, right? That's kind of how it is. But also, the animation is not good. There is no animation. You just click on the card and they flip over. In fact, you can literally rapid fire and do it. You can just go spam on your button. I did that on stream, and it just went rapid fire through all the cards, and it went so fast I didn't even see what I pulled. I don't like that. Honestly, they should just make the pack opening animation kind of like what PTCGO did. Like, and as somebody who actually posts pack opening videos quite frequently, it's a very big deal. Like, I don't think people would want to watch me open packs on Pokemon Trading Card Game Live because it looks kind of boring and it's just kind of weird. I just think if they're going to make a new pack opening animation, I think they should model it like how PTCGO's pack opening animation is, or even improve upon what PTCGO's pack opening animation maybe did wrong, or just make it look cool, because it just looks kind of bad. And again, that's not the main thing, the main concern I have with the beta. It's more of a nitpick than anything else. But it is something that I did want to include into my review, because that is one thing that I do not like about the game, is the pack opening animation is just really bad. And finally, the avatars. Let's be real here. The avatars on Pokemon TCG Live, they look pretty bad. And I mean, it's not something that I really care about too much. Like, the avatars, they don't have to be like the best thing on the planet. Like, it's the smallest thing. That's why it's the last thing I'm mentioning, because it's a very small thing that I don't think really matters in the grand scheme of things. But they definitely need to make the avatars look better. They look really weird and creepy, actually. I'm not a fan of the avatars. A lot of people aren't a fan of the avatars. And I think the avatars should be reworked a little bit to look a little bit better. Like, the PTCGO avatars, they look fine. They are really kiddish and outdated, which is not really a good thing. But the PTCGO avatars look better than the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live avatars. Like, in the future, I think they are going to do a lot of really cool customization options for, like, avatars and stuff. And I think that's a great thing. And I'm always a fan of, like, custom avatars and custom, costumes and stuff. I mean, my main thing on PTCGO, I rock a Charizard outfit. Like, I'm a fan of doing that type of stuff. And I imagine as time goes on, we'll get really cool customization options for the avatars. But they should also just make the avatars look better so that is cooler to do. I'm just saying the avatars don't look as good, and I do think they do need to improve upon that. Anyways, that is it for my review. Those are all of my criticisms and my positives that I have about the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. I think that if Pokemon really do kind of work on the beta and they work on the game and make it look good and listen to the criticisms that the community has, I think they have something special. Like, the groundwork is there for a fantastic experience and a pretty good Pokemon game that could, really push the Pokemon trading card game physical playing the cards itself agenda than just, people like, oh, I pulled a Charizard, it's worth $2,000. That's what I think this game needs to focus on, and I don't think that they made the mark for pushing the agenda of getting people to play the game. So I think that if they do improve upon, how it looks and all these other criticisms that I, listed, I think that the game has great potential, more than PTCGO. PTCGO is really held back by a lot of its stuff, but it's, at the end of the day, PTCGO does a lot more right at the moment than Pokemon Trading Card Game Live does right. And I think if they really listen to our feedback and improve upon how the game looks and the gameplay and, try to remove some of the clicking and dragging and improve how the game looks, I believe that the game can actually be a hit. And I hope that they listen to the criticisms from the community. And I know I'm not going to be the only content creator who has criticisms. Most content creators have criticisms of the game. And again, there's things that I like about the game, but there's things that I do not like. And those are my opinions on the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. I think the game has a lot of potential. And I want to see the potential, go through. Pokemon, playing the game is my job. It is my little job. And when the game is not good and people don't want to watch it and, views start to decrease and interest drops, it's just not a good time. And I don't want to see that happen. I really want to see, the game succeed and do well. And I think Pokemon Trading Card Game Live isn't getting there, but I think that it can get there. There is so much to like about it, but they just need to improve how it looks and how it plays. And I think that they could have a hit on their hands. I think they might have something special. Thanks for watching my review, guys. Stay tuned tomorrow morning for another deck video, and I will catch you guys later. And hopefully the feedback from the community is heard. I'm assuming it will be. I mean, there's a reason why they did a beta. And I hope that Pokemon Trading Card Game Live can be a success and be better than what PTCGO did.